2 Timothy 2:22 says this, "Flee also youthful lusts, but pursue righteousness, faith, love, peace with those who call on the Lord out of a pure heart." Now, whether we're youths or not, we've all got areas in our lives where we're weaker and more susceptible to temptation than others. I mean, it could be alcohol for some, it could be sex, it could be a tendency to gossip, or to be drawn into arguments or violence. But whatever it is, we need to watch ourselves in that area more, for our own sake and for our Christian walk. Paul warns us in 1 Corinthians 10:12, "Therefore let him who thinks he stands take heed lest he fall." And he says this following verses 1 to 11, where we can read about, obviously following 1 to 11, but we can read about Old Testament examples of those who did fall into temptation and the consequences that they faced. And this may sound quite heavy, but there are consequences for our actions, because what we do matters. And some things we can put right, but not everything. Some things, if we get it wrong, we fall into temptation, we can't put it right. I'll just read a few of those verses. This is 1 Corinthians 10, verse 1 onwards. "For I do not want you to be ignorant of the fact, brothers, that our forefathers were all under the cloud, and that they all passed through the sea. They were all baptized into Moses in the cloud and in the sea. They all ate the same spiritual food, and all drank the same spiritual drink, for they drank from the spiritual rock that accompanied them, and that rock was Christ. Nevertheless, God was not pleased with most of them. Their bodies were scattered over the desert. Now these things occurred as examples to keep us from setting our hearts on evil things as they did. Do not be idolaters, as some of them were, as it is written, the people sat down to eat and drink and got up to indulge in pagan revelry. We should not commit sexual immorality, as some of them did, and in one day 23,000 of them died. We should not test the Lord, as some of them did, and were killed by snakes. And do not grumble, as some of them did, and were killed by the destroying angel. These things happened to them as examples, and were written down as warnings to us, on whom the fulfillment of the ages has come." And as I said, this does sound heavy, but it is for our own good that we keep out of temptation's way where it's possible. It's not weakness, it's wise, and it's sensible. It's why would we want to cause ourselves unnecessary trouble and pain? The devil knows our weaknesses, and he'll tempt you in those areas, probably when you're not expecting it. The Bible says he prowls round like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. That's 1 Peter 5:8. I'm not talking about being paranoid, just about being wise. And there may be certain times when you're weaker than others, when it is wise to step back, and other times when you know the Lord's called you somewhere, so it's okay. But anyway, if you do find yourself in a situation where temptation seems too much, you don't have to give in to it. Listen, 1 Corinthians 10:13 says, "No temptation has seized you except what is common to man. And God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, he will also provide a way out so you can stand up under it." So whenever possible, avoid getting into situations where you know you could be tempted to sin. But when you do face temptation, instead of letting it get the better of you, look to God for that way of escape that he's promised. Then you can stand firm in him, remembering that if you resist the devil, he will flee from you.